You guys are obviously like, you know, when it gets to the playoffs, confident that you can beat anyone. But at this point in regular season, like, what is a concern level? I mean,
none. Zero. Just get us there healthy in one piece. Hopefully with none. Zero. Just get us there healthy in one piece.
Man, I must sound like a broken record. Broken record.
Winning streak as Kuminga threw one down with the left, now throws one with the right.
But hey, since the Warriors haven't been breaking any as of late, at least not any they should be, well, someone's got to do it. What's happening, everyone? This is Swish. I know it may be frustrating watching the Warriors fail to close out on numerous games. I mean, game after game, night after night. The Dubs have been losing single possession games left and right.
Turns it over.
Just when you think you've seen it all, the squad seems to top their last performance with another mind-boggling game giveaway that would force Pat Sajak to live on the streets. Trust me, I get it. Despite what we have seen, all isn't lost. As a matter of fact, by the end of this video, if you're not completely confident in this team, what we're doing, and what we're about to accomplish this year, feel free to hit the dislike button and say Swish. You have no idea what you're talking about. This team just flat out sucks. If, however, you're an actual fan of the Golden State Warriors team, maybe hit the like button instead, subscribe to the channel, and get ready for a Mind of the Warriors crash course. So far this season, the Warriors have played 7 games where the final score differential was 3 points or less. This means that all the Warriors needed was a single bucket to tie or win the game. With the offensive firepower from the Splash Brothers and the offensive engine that is Draymond, this shouldn't have been too difficult, right? I mean, these guys just won a championship. Klay Thompson's talking Steph Curry over 30 putting up prime numbers, so the Splash Brothers are packing heat like the summer. How did we manage to fail closing out 5 times out of 7? That's a 29% success rate. Anything under 50% is suspect for the average team. 29% success for a championship team is taboo, we think. So how is this even happening? Should we be worried about it? Can it be fixed? The answer to this will be to take a deep dive into Warriors ball. So grab a snack, relax, and let me peel your muffin cap back. Blue. The first game the Warriors lost this season by 3 points or less was to the Charlotte Hornets. The team went to overtime with Charlotte, a game during which Steph Curry had the team high 31 points, team high 11 rebounds, and team high 6 assists. For perspective, the Hornets are currently battling the Pistons for the rank of worst team in the Eastern Conference. This loss to the Hornets kickstarted a 5-game skid, which included a loss to the Orlando Magic by 1 point. The Orlando Magic happened to be the 3rd worst team in the Eastern Conference, being 4 to 5 games ahead of the battling Pistons and Hornets. We lost to the Mavericks by 3, and then lost to the Jazz by 1. As if losing a close game to the
bombed out and depleted
bottom-feeding Hornets wasn't bad enough, we gave up a nail-biter to, you guessed it, the currently suffering and dilapidated Detroit Pistons when Saddiq Bey hit a buzzer-beating 3. We chased down that L with a loss to Boston last week, and just last night somehow missed this statistic with the Brooklyn Nets. That is, despite the horrendous loss to a Nets team without Durant, the Warriors had a 17-point lead which they gave up in crunch time, unable to create any sort of a working offense to stop the surging Brooklyn team. Kyrie gave a masterclass, and the hack-a-claxton didn't work. The 2 games the Warriors managed to win was a double OT win versus the Atlanta Hawks and a controversial win over the Sacramento Kings. So now that we've got all these games grouped together, what went wrong in each of these games? Starting with the loss to the Hornets on October 29th, the last minute of the game started with the Warriors up by 4 points and the Hornets called a timeout. PJ Washington makes a 2-point basket following a missed 3 by Curry. Dennis Smith Jr. makes the layup to tie and Steph Curry misses another triple. Klay Thompson, by the way, went 5 of 14 from the field that game, hitting 1 of 7 from distance. The loss to the Orlando Magic just 5 days later on November 3rd was a consistent offensive surge that started midway through the third quarter, all the way through the end of the fourth. The Warriors had 19 more shot attempts, 11 more assists, while the Magic had 19 turnovers. The pure absurdity of the Magic making 130 points off 78 attempts and 46 free throws gave the team a true shooting percentage of 65. You know what single player has a true shooting percentage of 65? That's Stephen Curry. This is the offense that would be generated if you had 5 guys on the floor with average Steph Curry level of efficiency. A 15-point comeback against Golden State. Next up is the Dallas matchup, which took place on November 29th. Both Thompson and Wiggins went 1 for 6 from distance with 5 and 10 points respectively. Aside from JaMychal Green, every bench player was a double-figure positive plus-minus, led by Kuminga with a plus 21. Every starter was a negative plus-minus, with Wiggins being the greatest offender at a minus 23 and Klay right behind at minus 21. The matchup with the Detroit Pistons on January 4th was a bit unexpected as the Motor City Tankers took the lead from the beginning. The Warriors closed the gap in the fourth, but without Curry, in the end, the Pistons were splashing in Flint more than the Splash Brother Klay in the Bay. Makes sense since Klay would rather be inside the boat anyway. The real problem here, however, was twofold. Despite atrocious defense overall by the team for the entire game, the Warriors had possession down 1 and a chance to take the lead. It was at this moment that the frustration for Poole had reached its peak. As Poole brought the ball out of the corner, Kid Splash must have been in the deep end as he hit an oil slick and then hit the deck. A critical turnover at the last minute that gave the Pistons a crucial advantage, up 1 with possession. After a Pistons bucket, Klay managed to give the Warriors a fighting chance with a 3 to tie the game. But with 6'5" Ty Jerome, who plays like he's 5'9" guarding Saddiq Bey, he soon lost track of the sharpshooter as Bey buried an off-balance buzzer-beating 3 off one leg, having had only 1 second remaining on the shot clock. The last game the Warriors lost by 3 points or less was against last year's title finalists, the Boston Celtics, on January 19th. The Celtics are the highest rated team on this list, and you'd think, well, this had to have been a hard-fought game. But you see, while you wouldn't exactly be wrong, you wouldn't exactly be right either. The Warriors started off even with Boston, led in the third, and then pulled up lame in the fourth. The game went to overtime, and it proved to be just too much for the Warriors' 8-man rotation. With Poole having dropped 24 points on 25 shots, going 10 for 25, Curry went 9 for 25 and 6 for 18 from deep. With points from the bench approaching absolute 0 at an underwhelming 4 combined buckets coming from Looney, Dante, and Lamb, it would have been a miracle if the Warriors had won this road game. I did mention what might have been the worst loss of the season against a Tarantula's Nest.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
A Durantless Nets, where Kyrie was able to will the Brooklyn team to a comeback win against the Warriors. Both Klay and Wiggins had absolutely horrendous showings, with Wiggins being so bad he had to sit in the fourth. Steve Kerr was ungodly awful, knowing that Klay was not having a great shooting night, yet he decided to sit a high-performing Kuminga while having Klay Thompson, who is 0 for 6 from deep, not only stinking up the defense as he was getting killed by Uncle Drew, but also taking tough shots on ISOs instead of making the easy pass while throwing up Make-A-Wish threes with the game on the line. It was all Curry could do to sit and watch as Klay become the washed brother, and Poole's deep end dried up. The chef ran out of meal ideas late and sent up a prayer that didn't make it, because Yahweh was already in the building playing for the other team. Now that we've broken down the scenarios that contributed the most to the Warriors losing those single possession games, how do you bounce back from that with aspirations of winning the championship? Let me start by saying, like it or love it, Captain Klay will stay in the Bay. If that isn't obvious, that means despite some of the atrocious finishes to some of these games, Kerr is using all these games to prepare for the postseason. If you guys haven't noticed, Klay has yet to play any back-to-back games. That's because his health is still in need of work. The playoffs are a different animal, and playoff intensity games might as well be considered back-to-back for all intents and purposes when you consider the amount of pressure these guys are playing under. Could you imagine we get to the postseason and Klay Thompson gets injured in the first series? These games continue to add strength and stamina to ensure by the time we get to the playoffs, Klay Thompson is fully ready. Not to mention, Klay took off the entire summer of last year, not playing a single pickup game of basketball. Now, the second part of this relates to the first in that our chances of winning the championship severely diminishes without a fully healthy Klay Thompson. Let me say that again. Without a fully healthy Klay Thompson, the Warriors are back to 2019. That's when the Dubs played Toronto in the finals and only had Steph and Draymond to close, with both Klay and Kevin Durant out with injury. You don't need me to remind you that they lost that series. While you may think, well, we have Jordan Poole this time around, unfortunately, Poole isn't nearly as proven to be able to carry in the finals the way Klay has. Klay Thompson not being ready health-wise would be the Warriors beating themselves. Our third reason still pertains to Klay. If Klay manages to get to where he needs to be with his speed, stamina, strength, and agility, then great. If he manages to get there with a clean bill of health and no restrictions, we're 2 out of 3. Klay needs to get there at the top of his game with the closing lineup clicking on all 5 cylinders. If Klay can be in complete rhythm with the offense for the playoffs, mission accomplished. So now you understand Steve Kerr's obsession with giving Klay every possible minute out there on the floor. It may seem insane at times, but there's a method to the madness. This leads to reason number 4. Steve Kerr utilizing the regular season games as warm-ups means that the regular season games don't mean a lick. These are all just prep and play for when the real games come around in the postseason. This is a team that has gone to the finals 6 times in 8 years. 6! The regular season is a child's playground. This is like a demo store where they get to put in practice the moves they've been working on, making the risky shots and establishing a floor, so they know what works. You see all those NBA teams giving it everything they've got in an 82-game season. These guys are champions. They know that long season wears you down. When you see these guys out here playing, this isn't about a lack of focus or concentration or ability. They are legit going at about 75% of what they're about to do in the playoffs. All the players have bought into the team goals. They know it's not about breaking any regular season records. The Warriors already have the regular season record. They've got nothing to prove in the regular season. They're watching the rest of the young teams come up, trying to taste the championship, trying to prove they're worthy. They're watching these other guys do what the Warriors did 8 years ago. They play 82 regular season games and then get to the playoffs. That's where the real battle for the championship begins. But the first mission is 100% healthy starters. If we can achieve this, we'll get to the postseason, and the seed, whether 1st or 6th, does not matter. We are locked in and tunnel visioned all the way to a 5th NBA title in 9 years. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you on board? Or should the Warriors take over for the Motor City Tankers? Are we trading for somebody? Or do we run what we brung? Hash it out below, guys, and thanks for watching. Till next time, swish.